Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. Hope everyone's doing well. This video is going to be just some of the most recent stuff I got into the collection, as well as some albums I've been listening to a lot lately, and I'm kind of looking forward to showing you guys. Haven't really bought anything in a while. Been saving my money for the Metallica 72 Seasons tour, which I went to the first stop last weekend in Foxborough, Mass, which is awesome. If you get a chance to check out that tour, do so. Don't take my word for it, just do it. The bands, all of them just sound really good, especially Pantera and Metallica in particular. Metallica is just, I guess they've been reading the comments people have been saying about them all year. They ramped it up a notch. They brought their A game. They sound absolutely amazing. They're playing great. They're looking great. Tons of energy. But this is not about Metallica. This is about some of the stuff I got into the collection recently. So let's get right to it. The first album is a record I've been wanting and waiting for quite a while. I jumped on the pre-order right when it was announced, like within a few hours of seeing the social media posting. I jumped on the pre-order and got it. About around the time of release date, I started seeing people post on social media photos of the record. I'm like, what the hell is mine? Got an email about 2 weeks later saying, sorry, production issues. You'll get yours shipped out as soon as possible within the next 4 to 6 weeks. And I was kind of like, damn, I jumped on real early and still taking a long time to get mine. But finally, it arrived. Exodus's British Disaster live in London '89 from the Fabulous Disaster tour cycle, recorded live at the Estonia in London, England on March 8th, 1989. And this thing sounds great. I mean, there's so many awesome live records that we've all heard, just live metal albums we've all heard. Everybody knows Live After Death, Metallica's Live Shit, Binge and Purge, like I said, Live After Death from Iron Maiden. Those two kind of, to me, say more about how great Metallica and Iron Maiden are than about like the overall 80s metal era. This one does both. This one kind of showcases just how great Exodus is and how great they played live, it sounded live, but also has that 80s thrash metal vibe, that the attitude and the aggression and power of the music. Just kind of like, we're here, we're going to play hard, fast, and heavy in your face. We're going to make you pay attention, we're going to make you like us, or we're going to call you a poser and beat the shit out of you, right? Anyway, it's a great record. You can really hear that in the recordings. While I was waiting for this album to get to me, I was listening to it like nonstop on streaming. It's such a great record, for everything from the between-song banter of the guys in the band, to the gang vocals, to the crowd singing back, just the solos, the riffs, just the way they were playing. You could tell they were feeling it. They were in the groove. It was that late 80s thrash. They were just living every aspect of it, and I love that. There's never been a live metal album that could transport me back to that time in my life as a kid when I was listening to these records in my room or with my friend's room. There's nothing that can take me back in time to that time in my life like this album. Just the vibe of it instantly. With the first time I heard it live, the first time I heard it rather on streaming, I was like, man, like I just kept thinking, like, listening to this album as a kid, just had that, something came over me, just kind of transported me back in time to that. So I think that's great. Not too many albums. I can't even recall any albums really being able to do that consistently, but this one has. But pretty cool gatefold. Pictures of the band, some tour flyers, and some British World War II newspaper clippings. There's the guy right there, and then the track listing on the back. There's the same dude right there, and the plane says Poser Killer. Really, really cool. I dig the artwork, how they kind of mixed the Exodus stuff with the, the British Disaster, and then, the war on Britain and World War II, newspaper articles. Like, that's really, really cool. But here's the record on gold. I'm glad they didn't throw a bunch of other, like, just random red or, like, blue variants out there. They stuck with the gold, which really matches the album cover great. Just that kind of goldish, old, withered newspaper. Really, really cool. Check this out. I love this record. I mean, it's basically like the best of those first few Exodus albums, all killer, no filler. Just awesome stuff. Check it out. If you've already listened to it, let me know what you think about it. I think this album is awesome. Easily in the top 10, my favorite live metal albums of all time. So with that same shipment, I was able to grab Cavalera's Schizophrenia. That Max and Igor are redoing the Sepultura album. I think it sounds awesome. It sounds better than Morbid Visions and Bestial Devastation. This thing just sounds amazing. They did a great job with it. Absolutely love it. Not super thrilled with the vinyl. On the website, it looked a little bit more like sky blue, maybe aqua blue. It's called Carasso vinyl. I don't know. It looks more like transparent blue, which I'm not a huge fan of the way it looks. I thought it was a little bit more of a solid blue on the website. I don't know if this is a mistake or whatnot, but, you know, I'm not going to bitch and moan. I think it's just still great. But I can remember talking to my buddy Joe, Joe Bradish from Massachusetts, who I just saw this past weekend at Metallica, and met his wonderful girlfriend Jenny. Great people. But Joe and I talked at length about Sepultura and Cavalera. You know, the Cavalera brothers redoing Morbid Visions and Beast of Devastation. I was, you know, kind of discussing with him and some other friends, you know, hey, are they going to do the rest of them? Like, I would love to hear Beneath the Remains, which is my favorite Sepultura record, and Arise, which is probably my second favorite Sepultura record. Everyone kind of, it was almost like unanimous agreement. They were like, I doubt they do that. And then all of a sudden, one day, bam, this thing's announced. And everyone was just super stoked. Glad to have it in the collection. Really hope they do the rest of them. I guess I'm in the minority where I really want them to. But it sounds awesome. Give it a listen if you haven't done so already. Next one, I've already done a video on this, but it's Metallica's Ride the Lightning 40th Anniversary Splatter. Talked a lot about this past weekend at Metallica as well. Everybody loves the splatter. It looks awesome. It sounds really, really good. And unanimously, everyone thinks the hype sticker sucks. It's the hype sticker that they put out, what, like 5-6 years ago when they re-released the albums on Blackened Recordings. It's like, you made a splatter for the 40th anniversary, but you couldn't figure out to do a new hype sticker. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky, but I think that's kind of like, it makes it a little bit less cool in my opinion. Anyway, next item added to the collection is Poison's Open Up and Say Ah, and I really wanted this in my collection. I've got this on cassette tape with the covered artwork. The woman with the tongue sticking out was the cassette tape, and the vinyl. Shortly after it was released, I guess, they started doing this covered version, so I was able to get this on cassette tape. And I think the story goes that eventually the covered version became a little bit more of a collector's item than the full-on artwork with the woman with her tongue out. They brought that cover back, and I never got it on vinyl. I was really glad to pick it up. It's got like $25 is what it cost me. Not too bad, but a really good record. Not as good as Look What the Cat Dragged In, but still really damn good album. Start to finish, no bad songs on it. Love CeCe's guitar tone on the record, but glad to have that in the collection for nostalgia reasons and kind of complete that Open Up and Say Ah collection. So, next one is a band called Alicia. The album's called Militants. This is a traditional heavy metal band from France. Really cool stuff. Great vocals, great guitar riffs. Think Dimebag Darrell and Tony Iommi slowed down a little bit more bluesy. That's what the guitar riffs sound like in my opinion, but really cool vocals. These guys do kind of a good job of kind of having like a steady medieval theme to the album. There's the artwork on the gatefold. Check out the guys in the band. They've got that cloak look going on like the old Ghost, first few Ghost records did. But really great stuff. Give it a listen. Like I said, it's traditional heavy metal. Pretty cool vinyl right there. Olive green and black marbled. Pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I dig this one. It's going to definitely be in my best of 2024 video. I've been listening to this for the last couple months. Came out early in the year. I really like it. It's a song called If She Floats is easily the best song on the record, but you just give it a listen. Tell me what you think about the guitar tone and the riffs. Really cool stuff. Alicia, I think I'm saying that right. I'm not really sure. It's Ecclesia. Alicia? I don't know. Militants, check it out. It's good stuff. Give it a listen. Let me know what you think. These next two records will also be featured in my best of 2024 video. I've been talking about this one before. I did a video on it. It's Hemotoxin, When Time Becomes Lost. Killer death metal band from California. Definitely give this a listen. If you like the band Death, you're going to like these guys, all right? Vocally, he sounds very similar to Chuck. Musically, very similar as well. I think they're a little bit more melodic than Death was. There's a lot of cool parts where they kind of slow the riff down. They make just these beautiful guitar solos. Awesome record. Malediction's the best song on the album, as well as the title track, When Time Becomes Lost. Great album. I cannot talk about this thing enough. I love it. It's easily my favorite death metal album of the year. And I said that before when Necrot's Lifeless Birth came out and this thing overtook it. This is how great this album is. Go give it a listen. Like I said, if you dig the band Death, give this thing a listen. Don't just listen to it once. Listen to it twice. You kind of get the whole experience of the intricacies of the guitars and everything. It's awesome stuff. Next one is another death metal album, Best of 2024. Gatecreeper's Dark Superstitions. Different kind of sounding death metal than Hemotoxins, When Time Becomes Lost. This one's a little bit more punk infused, a little bit more death and roll. Just great stuff. Give it a listen. These guys are coming to Atlanta with Frozen Soul sometime in September. I have tickets. I think it's a Friday night. I don't know the exact date. But really, really cool splatter vinyl here I was able to pick up. The other side looks cooler. Really cool stuff. But yeah, it's Gatecreeper, Dark Superstitions. Can't wait to check them out. In fact, a lot of these bands I'm going to talk about, including the next one, are all coming to Atlanta. Exodus is coming to Atlanta with Havoc, so looking forward to that show. And these guys are coming to Atlanta with Creator and Testament. This is Possessed. This is their... this is my OG copy of Seven Churches. I've wanted an OG copy of this album for a long time. I love this record. But the combat versions, if they're in good condition, are all pretty pricey. I was able to find this UK, first pressing UK version on Roadrunner Records for a fairly cheap amount. And, you know, they were saying that it was in good condition, you know, VG Plus with the cover and the inner sleeve and the album. There's some creasing down here, which I don't mind at all. I've said it before. I call it, you know, how the album's loved. You know, I kind of like that worn out look. But there's really no ring wear or nothing like that. There's some scratch marks and like some pen marks on the actual album cover. It looks like maybe like somebody just was like, had a piece of paper and was like drawing on the paper. It kind of went through the album. But I mean, unless you kind of turn it a certain way in the light, you really can't tell. But this is an awesome album. I've really wanted an OG copy of this in my collection. So now I'm pretty excited that I got it. I still would like that combat one, but I don't want to pay those prices. So anyway, looking forward to seeing them live with Creator and Testament later on this year. So there you have it, guys. There are my new additions to the collection, as well as some records I've been listening to a lot lately. Would love to talk about these albums with you, so if you want to, feel free to leave a comment below. Love discussing metal with you guys. No opinion's wrong. Everyone's right. And I just really enjoy talking about the stuff with you guys. So if you want to do that, feel free. If not, no worries. I appreciate everybody checking out the channel. I'll have another video for you guys very soon. And have a great weekend. Cheers, everybody.